Alright, so how I got my CDL was I went through a company called CR England. You probably seen I'ma just be walking around. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna walk around. Turn on these lights. So we're gonna walk around. Here's the view. Anyway, I got my CDL through CR England. You probably remember the video. I will add the clip below, down below in the description below. But y'all remember I did the pay summary about CR England. So what happened was I used to work with this company called Unipress. They build sub parts for Nissan. Okay, so what happened was I ended up losing my car. I had a 2013 Kia Altima. I ended up losing my car and my job at the same day. I know what you're saying. Dang, Katie, how can you lose both of them at the same time? Well, I did. I'm gonna do another story time one day. Telling about the car. So that's coming as well. But what happened was when I lost my job, my car, I normally would freak out. But it was something about this particular day that would not allow me to freak out. So what I did was I prayed. I got down on my knees. I said, Lord, this storm, this test is bigger than what I can handle. I know you're going to make a way. If it's any way possible, make a way. So I got on Indeed. On my phone, I got on Indeed. Once I got on Indeed, I began to start searching. 2 days later, CR England called. So England asked me some questions. She said, well, what I do is I will give you 2 weeks to study for your CDL learner's permit. I said, okay, I can do that. So at that time, Stevens Transport called me. Stevens did not want me to do my Stevens wanted me to go to Denver, Colorado in order for me to get my CDL. So I went on here, I went with CR England. I did what they asked me to do. I studied for my test. And I'm finna show you guys how I studied. Let me turn the camera around so you guys can see. See that? I had my goddaddy to print this out. And what I did was, the chapters that they told me to do, I highlighted. Okay, I highlighted keywords. And what I did was, after each session, I wrote these questions down on an index card. So, after I did that, I passed my test. Then here come the drama. Drama was nice bathroom. Drama was they asked for some reason it was a restriction on my license. So what I had to do was I had to go and see what there was about. I had to go back to the DMV, did that. So I think a week or two after that, CR England gave me a bus, bought me a bus ticket. And now that I have my commercial learner permit, I had to go to the school in order to take the test, pass the test, learn how to actually drive the truck, all of that. So after which, what I did was I went. The first day at CR England, first they gave me a Greyhound bus. They got me a Greyhound bus. I ended up taking the bus to, I took the bus to Van Paso, Indiana. checked into the hotel. When I checked into the hotel, the first day was orientation. Well, the next day was orientation. Did my paperwork, my drug test, everything. So after the drug test, next thing I did was the next day we met up at the range, got into our groups, we did pre-trip, you know, we did roll call, pre-trips, all of that. Then after we got familiar with the pre-trip, well, you have to study on your own time about the pre-trip. But the thing was, the first day was straight line backing. That's getting the truck and trailer concept. That's the main focus, is to get the truck and trailer concept. So what we did was we straight line back the first day. The next day was left offset, pre-trip. Left offset, pre-trip. Next day, right offset, pre-trip. Right offset, pre-trip. After that, left parallel. The next day, right parallel. Pre-trip, pre-trip, pre-trip. Can't stress that enough. You got to know your pre-trip. After which, we did a alley-dot. Then you go over to the advanced side. Once you get over to the advanced side, now keep in mind, this went on 7 days a week, every day, Monday through Monday. So after 2 weeks of being on the range, when I took my test, I passed. Thank God, I passed. After I passed, that same day I did a 45, 90 backing. My favorite type of backing. Some people don't like that. I love it because it gives you, I have more control of bagging my truck up when I do so. So after I got my CDL, I passed the test. After I got my CDL, I had to be transferred. I had to go from Van Paso, Indiana to Joliet, Illinois. Once I got in Joliet, I met my trainer. I waited in a hotel maybe 2 or 3 days. Met my trainer. His name was Ken. Mentor. His name was Ken. That first day, me and my co-driver name was Aaron. He's the reason why I don't want to do teams. I want to be solo because of him. So what I did was, I took the first shift. It was nighttime. I got in there, and I drove. all the way to Missouri. Once I got in Missouri, I drove my 11 hours, 10 hours, 11 hours. Once I got, no, it was a little bit past Missouri. Anyway, I end up, Aaron drove, I slept, well, thought I could sleep, but I couldn't. So, after the 2 weeks there on the road with Ken and Aaron, going up and down the Rocky Mountains, what I did was, it was time for the upgrade test. After you get your evaluation from your mentor, what you do is you take another road eval, which meaning, can you handle this truck on your own without your mentor? So after which I went first, I played smart. When it was time to test, I played smart. So what I did was, I went first, I did my alley dot backing, passed it. Missed 2 points because I was over an inch past the bumper, past where the bumper was supposed to be. Then it came down to taking the road test. Now, when it was time to take the road test, and every time I get in a truck with somebody else, they always ask me, have you ever drove before? And I was like, no, this is my first time. Other than what I did with my mentor, they always tell me, well, you just comfortable. I say, well, you got to be comfortable. So, after I did that, this man that's supposed to be in my group, because we split off into groups of 2, the man supposed to be in my group got us put off the damn truck. Why? Because he ran his mouth. So, when it was time for us to go, He went first, I went last. Past that, no mistakes. She just told me to be more clear. So after that, the next day, I got assigned to my truck. Now with my truck number was 58029. We're still in England. I had this DM. His name is Bob. So the next day, I think it was the next day, I got my first load. My first load was to California, from Utah down to California. So I got there. I had to take this driver on to Riverside, California to get his truck. After I did so, the rest is history. The rest is history. History to be made, history to be taught. But I say that to say, you can go through a school, or trucking school, with a trucking company, but be mindful, you're gonna sign a contract. And if you go with the big schools, you're not gonna like them. You might do like it, depends on the fleet that you're running. But if it was up to me, if I knew what I knew then, let the state of Mississippi, or you go to a school yourself to get your CDL. Okay? That's what you do. You do not let nobody else, try not to let anybody else, I got a phone call. Try not to let anybody else dictates to you what trucking school to go to. Pick out dictates to you what trucking school to go to. Pick out dictates to you what trucking school to go to. Pick out dictates to you what trucking school to go to. Pick out dictates to you what trucking school to go to. Pick out dictates to you what trucking school to go to. Pick out dictates to you what trucking school to go to. Pick out dictates to you what trucking school to go to. Pick out dictates to you what trucking school to go to. Pick out dictates to you what